Well, good evening, Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and this evening, today, is Tuesday, the 24th of June, 2025, at approximately 1940. That's, no, scratch that, 2140. That's 9:40 p.m. And we're getting ready to do a shave. Got home a couple hours ago, had dinner. I'm on my own again tonight. My wife is on a business trip. She's in Lubbock, Texas, and she'll be home on Thursday midday. But be that as it may, we will go on with the shave, and we can take care of ourselves for a little while. I can take care of myself for a little while. It's not that hard. Give me a credit card and I can do almost anything. Now, I need my water. Excuse me. I've got some nice background music playing from YouTube. It's a little more of an upbeat than it is relaxing and so forth. So I'm in that kind of a mood, kind of give me a little energy, make me upbeat instead of trying to relax me down. So let's go over the equipment. Can't think of the next thing to say, so let's just go do the equipment. Little takeoff. Bill M, I regard as a good friend, and his latest video, he'd been absent for 2 or 3 weeks, and he did a video just over, I guess it was Sunday, and it was his best stuff, what he regarded as his best stuff, what gave him the most pleasure to use. And there's a little bit of that in this video, especially with the razor. The rest of it is kind of not necessarily random. I just didn't close my eyes and pick it off the shelf, but it's a little bit more not even rotational. I'm going to use that because I want to. But the razor falls in that category of, yeah, that's kind of near the top of my stuff. But I have so many razors now, 60, 70, 75. I have new production. I have vintage razors. And then I have that set, that magical set that I call dagnabbit, what do I call them? They're vintage, but they're mint condition vintage razors. For example, I just finished up that last roll up, so I'm moving on to a new roll up. And the one that I just finished up was number 3 in the 3 roll ups of the new production. And so I moved to the mint vintage because I don't take those out on the road with me anymore. And so, because, well, it's not, and so this one is the number 1 razor in the mint condition vintage razors. And it is the Fritz Brock tennis razor. And I don't know why my razor don't like to focus. My camera does it like number 87 tennis razor, Soligen. What else does it say? Made in Germany, number 87 tennis razor. I don't know what that German word is on the front. I'm not even going to try. But this has a beautiful inlay there on the scales, and I love this greenish gold with the pattern color. And so this was honed up on started on the Shapton Glass 1000, moved up the progression 2000, 4000, 8000, maybe even a 16 and 30, and then brought it back to the Dan's Whetstone Arkansas black, hard black, or as some call it, well, you know what it is. Surgical black. That's more of a common street name than it is a they use on their website hard black. So that's what this was. That's how this one was honed. That's what it was finished on. The last ever since I bought this, last year, last summer, I think is when I started collecting the mint condition. I now have a 7-day roll up, and I actually have 2 of these tennis razors exactly in the same condition, same color, same everything. And that other one is on the Norton translucent. So this is on the Dan's Whetstone hard black, and the other one, it'll come up in a few shaves from now, but that's a Norton translucent. Anyway, let's move on. And so the brush is the QED Select what's that? Manchurian silver tip. QED Select Manchurian silver tip Badger. And this is the 26 millimeter version. I've got a 28 that looks almost identical to this, a 28 millimeter. And the way you tell the difference is that this handle of faux acrylic, faux horn, is slightly taller. It's slightly taller than the 28 millimeter, which is a little more chubby, a little more stubby. And so that's really the only way you can tell the difference between the two. And the soap, don't use this one very often because I just don't have that much of it. It's a sample, and that is the Sterling Tuscany. And this is the label that came off of the sample. You know, they wrap them in cellophane, send them out. I carefully peeled this off, put it on here. And these are among I got 4 of these tin containers from Sterling Soap Company. I do not recommend them because they rust. They rust. And that is no bueno, as they say here in South Texas. Well, Southeast Texas on the coast. All right, let's get... let me get my face wet, then we'll start lathering. I got into the yard. I started the morning this morning in Evergreen, Alabama, north of Mobile, about 90 miles. Came down, what is that, Interstate 65? South of Montgomery, Alabama, and I was rolling at about 6:45. I didn't exactly kill myself getting up this morning. Had my clock set for 6, and got rolling by about 6:45. And got into the yard. Almost 600 miles. I think it was 596, something like that. And got in at about I'm trying to think, what time did I get in? 4:30, 4:45, in that general time. And the day's drive was fine. Now, I'm heading somewhere with this, so we've had some interesting conversations today, and that is simply, you remember when I came to this company, I was hired by this company back in November, and I made a big deal about I was going to work with my old boss from the old company, so the new boss, same as the old boss. I made that little joke, and so a text message went out this morning from our HR department that the new boss, that's same as the old boss, is no longer my boss. that effective immediately, he is no longer with the company. And of course, nobody wants to say why, and nobody ever does in those kind of situations where the separation is not necessarily agreeable or amicable. But I called him, and he didn't reveal any much more information. But I did find out from another driver, and I don't know the other drivers. It's a small company, 15 trucks. Come to find out, 2 of them are down due to mechanical. Another one was had a accident recently. I'll say more about that. And another one, there was the company had an inspection this weekend. I was gone, but had brought in the inspection personnel to do inspections on all the trucks to find out what's good, what's bad, what needs to be fixed. But my truck hadn't, as far as I know, hadn't been touched. And since all those breakdowns earlier in the year, late last year, my truck's been running fairly well. Now, there's some things I wish worked better. There's some things that I wish were fixed that don't work, like my mirror controls, the electronic buttons on the door for the mirror controls. And I think it's a DOT regulation that requires there to be a heater control. Push the button, heater comes on, both the mirrors. Fog, steam, inclement weather, freezing rain. And you have to be able to keep your mirrors clear because it's a safety concern. Or let me say it the other way, it's a safety violation if it doesn't work. But mine's never worked. And minimum standard on the truck's mirror is that you have to have that 9-inch, 7-inch mirror, whatever it is. And right below it, you have to have that 4-inch convex mirror. And that's the mirror that helps you see down the side of the truck, so you can see your blind spot, etc. You can see down your blind spot, and you've got to have that because mine fell off. Now I've been out on the road since. Went down to the truck Sunday night. Had a 1 a.m. load, and you remember me talking about that 1:30 load to Midlothian, Dallas, Texas. And on the way back from that mirror that I'm talking about fell off. And it was just dangling, and it was being held on by the wires that go up into the mirror mount that control the heater and the movement and so forth. And so I had to duct tape it down to where it would not fly off and break. I was less concerned about losing it, but we didn't want it to fly off, and so I duct taped it down, and so when I got back to the yard today, and there were some other things that I had concerns about on the trailer and the tractor, and so I went to, since they had terminated my boss, as I was walking in the door, the head honcho over the entire complex was walking out the door, and he was hired at about the same time I was in November. And I said, "You're the new terminal manager that came on in November, aren't you?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, with the other guy gone," I said, "who do we report maintenance issues on the truck that need to be taken care of?" He said, "Me." And I said, "Well, I've got a couple. I'm just getting back in. I've been out for about 6 days." All right, here we go. So we had us a little conversation while I was reporting to him the issues, and here's what I've discovered from another driver, that about a couple of things. A couple of months ago, within the last 2 months, there have been 2 drivers that have quit. 15 drivers, 15 trucks. Now we've got 2, 3, 4 trucks that have become inoperable. One through accident, one through safety shutdown, and the other 2 through blown engines that are on maintenance. So I guess you could say they're shut down as well. Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm on medical leave, 2 days off, Wednesday and Thursday, having a CT scan tomorrow. But we're supposed to be having an emergency safety meeting. Well, here's what happened. Let me give you the quick conclusion. I think they're going to close the company. I think by the end of tomorrow, the entire company is going to be shut down. All the drivers are going to be laid off, and sayonara. That's a little Japanese lingo. No offense to. And now, here's what I found out. Not only did those 2 drivers quit in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so, quite recently. Within the last 2 weeks, there was a driver who took a 15-mile-an-hour sharp curve too fast, and he rolled the truck. And it was a Class 8 corrosive hazmat product that he was carrying. Well, if that weren't bad enough, the rollover induced a spillage of the hazmat Class 8 corrosive material. And of course, police are called, fire trucks are called, hazmat emergency response teams are called. And when you call them, it goes to the government. It goes to people like EPA and so forth. And so they all came out. As the truck, I found out today, was a total loss, and truck and trailer. And I can only imagine spillage of that sort. They'll carry 7,000 gallons. 45,000 pounds, real easy. Well, we already have, before that, two trucks that the engines were blown, and it was going to cost $15,000 to $25,000 to get those fixed, and there was no urgency. There was no estimate on when those would be ready. I can only imagine. And the fines, the penalties, and so forth that are going to be incurred from this hazmat material cleanup are going to be astronomical. Tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. The fines, the penalties, the cleanup. And for a company that now has approximately 10 operating trucks, and my buddy, who is the manager, his primary mission when he was hired about a year and a half ago to be the manager of the freight line was to make the company profitable. I don't see how, it was barely hanging on with the constant repairs on the truck and the financial outlay with that. And now incurring whatever fines are going to be and penalties that are going to be coming from this incident. Rumor is that this emergency meeting that they've called of all the drivers for tomorrow morning at 8:30, which I will not be there because I've got a doctor's appointment, and I've told them twice today, hey, I'm not going to be there. So I think the company's made the decision that they're going to close down the trucking company arm of that they have. I just don't think we're going to survive. There's no way we can become profitable with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt from fines and penalties and cleanup from the government. And I think they're going to shut her down. So all this work that I've been doing for the last 2 months to get myself ready for kidney stone surgery is going to be for nothing, because I'm going to be out of insurance by the end of the month. Well, I say, and that's probably true for me, but my wife said she'd already put me, well, she's on my insurance. We're going to move over to her company's insurance. And so maybe I can get on with the procedure as we move over to her insurance. And so that's the big news for today. So we'll see what happens. Now, more to say. Not on that. Some things kind of like David Letterman's list, number 1, number 2. Start from the bottom up. Number 10, number 9. And the number 1 stupidest thing to say is that what you just said is so silly. So silly. Things that I think are silly. I don't have them in any particular order, and I certainly don't have a top 10 list. I'm not going to go down that road of saying what people say is silly, because people are entitled to their own opinion. And now there's lots of things that I think are immoral, lots of things that I think are stupid, and I voice my opinion on those things from time to time. I've never been silent about my criticism and disdain for the Rainbow Mafia and what a person must believe in their head and in their heart to allow for such. To me, that's just silly. That's just silly. It violates everything that what most people believe and think about the human condition. Now, the subject matter that I was speaking on in my last video, where I got some comment, some blowback. Silly. I think you said ridiculous too. Ridiculous and silly. I forget what the first word is, and if I didn't get it right, I apologize. I didn't look at it before I started my video. But what I do find interesting is that despite their disagreement, Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz did not think it silly for them to spend the time that they did on it and argue about it. Boy, that was in and out. That went fast. I'll think of it here. The thing that's so interesting about those kinds of arguments, discussions, propositions, is that they really do affect how a person thinks, either way, whether you agree or disagree with Ted Cruz, which I made it very clear that I disagreed with him, but people believe certain things, theological, Bible-oriented things that affect their daily life. How many billions of dollars does the United States government give to that country which shall remain nameless? And how many churches teach their adherents, their followers, that little country over there by the Mediterranean is the modern day equivalent of the ancient country from 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. They don't think it's silly. I'm shaving at this late hour tonight. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I said it or not earlier, but I've got right at about 48 hours, plus or minus a little bit, 2 days. It was what's today? Tuesday. So it was Sunday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, when I got into the truck stop there at Orangeburg, South Carolina. And so I've got probably 50 some hours worth of whiskers on my face. But I wanted to be clean shaven for my doctor's appointment tomorrow, so it was tonight or sacrifice a couple of hours of sleep in the morning. And frankly, I'd rather sleep in the morning and shave tonight. So and I'll get to bed by midnight and I'll sleep till about 9 o'clock. And it's going to be interesting to see, first of all, whether or not I survive, if the company survives, and I still have a job by tomorrow night, and how the dispatching is going to take place, who's going to do it, what knowledge and experience do they have, are they going to do as good a job as the former boss did, knowing where drivers like to go. I don't like to go short. I don't want to do these Houston to Dallas, Dallas back to Houston kind of loads. I want to do I hate to, even Orangeburg, South Carolina is too short. It's right at 1,000 miles. It's 2 500-mile days, which in and of itself is okay. But when you start adding the loading and the unloading onto the front end and back end of that, all of a sudden you've created difficult situations. Well, it looks like we're going to have to put our other cat down, and I'm very saddened by that. We put down the twin sisters. One's black, one's white. The black one we put down a week ago, and the white one had just wasted down to almost nothing. Gotten so skinny, lost so much weight. My wife has been watching her through the spy camera, and she's not eating, she's not drinking, and that's worrisome. And she's meowing, howling out throughout the house while she's been gone, while I've been gone. And it's heartbreaking to listen to her. And so after the doctor's appointment tomorrow, I will likely end up having to put her down. It may be new information to some of you, but I ended up having to put the first one down myself, and it wasn't hard, but it was hard. It wasn't hard, but it was hard. If you understand my meaning, it was not a pleasant task. Emotionally, more than anything else. It wasn't procedurally, it wasn't a hard thing to do. That's a nice scent. That Tuscany is a nice scent. Oh, that feels real nice. All right, let's rinse it off, and I'm gonna run some fresh hot water here. Well, I'm starting to drag tired. Dragging slowly. I'm tired, and I'll tell you, my hips hurt. So standing here is not exactly a pleasure at the present moment. Okay, we'll move on to the head shave now. I'm gonna go back to my Dovo Colonel Conch for my head shave. They'll be the last one with the good old Colonel for a while. Because I'm gonna put them back in rotation, bring the next one up. All right, here's the old Colonel Conk Dovo. Nice inlay here on the scales. Nice bolsters on the bottom end. And it's a nice razor. Nothing wrong with it. And I did have some troubles with this early on. Finally got down to some good steel, and it's been serving me just nicely ever since. But it took a while to get down to that good steel. And that's all you can do is just keep going, keep going. You work on it for a little while, it doesn't get to where you want to go, and so you set it aside for a while and come back to it a little later. Yeah, that's better, in my opinion. A little straighter. Haircut will come on Thursday morning, and that'll be about 36 hours for the next shave, approximately. And if we still have a job, who knows? I'm liking these tunes coming from the TV. I don't know from YouTube. I don't know if you can hear them well or not. I'll find out later when I post it up. Okay. All right. That's it on the head shave. The face shave is done. Colonel Conk did just fine. We're going to move on to something else. I'll do a proper final cleanup after the off camera. Now, I dropped and shattered my last alum block. So this is the one that I've been carrying with me on the road that you see me use. I broke the corner off here just not long ago. I got to be more careful. Not cheap stuff. Not cheap stuff. All right, now I'm going to put my shaving brush, the QED Select Manchurian Silver Tip Badger, down in the water. Let it start soaking. I got hot water in the sink, letting get that soak down in there because I want to Get those goodies from the soap melted down into the water. Now they say you're supposed to do this with cold water, rinse with cold water, help close the pores and so forth. And I can understand the logic. So it don't sting quite as badly, maybe. Okay, there's that. Set it down safely. I'm gonna damp dry my face and head off, get the alum off. We don't want it hanging around where it can injure the razor. All right, I think, okay, that's the alum. We've done with the alum. I pulled out a new alum block to put in my travel bag. And then I've got one left in reserve in the closet, so I'll be ordering some more of that for long. What's next? Okay. We're going to go ahead and use some Whiskey Woods, Clubman Pinard Reserve Whiskey Woods. I like using this, but I also have I got like 5, 6, 8 bottles of this in my closet back there. Bought a bunch of it back a couple of years ago when I was buying these aftershaves, these cheap aftershaves. And they're just good. They're good. They smell good. And they're inexpensive. They don't last too long, about 30 minutes maybe. But that's enough. That is enough. All right, here it is. So, tennis, Fritz Brock. I don't think I got that Fritz Brock name. Yeah, here it is. It's on the back side. Can you make it out? Fritz Brock. What else does it say back there? Solingen, Germany. And then tennis. Tennis Solingen, made in Germany, number 87. All right, so that's it. We'll call it quits. And likely I will see you on Thursday morning. You have a good evening, and I will see you then down the road.